Hello and welcome to your Fantasy Premier League one-stop shop. I'm your host Stephen Gallagher, world number 3 in points totals over the past 3 seasons. Today we're going to be looking at all the key points for Game Week 11, who to buy, who to sell, fixtures to target, wildcard drafts, captaincy and more. Let's get straight into it, starting with some key points. The first key point is injury news, starting with Cole Palmer. I think there's a lot of worried managers seeing he's yellow flagged in FPL, but apparently it's no cause for concern. The tackle that caused the yellow flag is just above me there, and while it was a bad tackle and he was in a lot of pain, he did also carry on after the tackle, so massive shout out to the Physio Scout on Twitter. According to them, it's only a bone bruise or contusion, which is initially painful but not a long-term injury. And in addition to that, Palmer's not in the Chelsea squad for the midweek Conference League game, so he's got a full week to recover and should be good to go against Arsenal. A big injury boost for Arsenal as Odegaard is back in full training, which is huge for Arsenal assets. It makes Saka a better asset and it makes Havertz a much better asset as he'll likely go back to playing striker. So this is big news for Arsenal. Konate is good to go. He played 90 minutes against Leverkusen in the Champions League midweek. Romero will miss the Ipswich game with a toe injury. Rodgers is okay and was pictured in training. And finally, Cash is unlikely to feature against Liverpool with a calf injury. The next thing I wanted to discuss is the change to the bonus point system and how this has been positively impacting certain players. For example, Mo Salah. He's now accumulated 18 bonus points in 10 game weeks. And when we compare this to last season, he had 24 bonus points. So he's already 3/4 of the way to matching his total for the whole of last season. And if you look at this plot, you can see this season on the far right, he's getting a bonus point every 50 minutes, which is half the minutes of his best previous season for bonus points per minute. So clearly the new bonus point system suits him massively, and the reason for this is because it rewards shots on target heavily and punishes shots off target. Now Salah's got 62% shot accuracy, which is the second highest for any player with 20 shots or more. In first place is Chris Wood with 65% accuracy, if you were wondering. And another reason this new system suits Salah is that in Liverpool's system under Slot, Salah's collecting the ball a bit deeper, which means he has space to dribble past players, which he gets bonus for. And he also gets fouled by these players, which he gets bonus for. And if you look at all the games he's got bonus in, whenever he gets a goal, he gets at least 2 bonus. And there's even been 2 games against Arsenal and against Wolves where he just scored 1 goal and got 3 bonus points, which is insane and really increases his appeal massively. The next thing I wanted to discuss is Haaland. Just a 1 goal in the past 5 matches for him, but he's been continuing to get in really good positions, getting a lot of chances. So I think he's causing a lot of managers a bit of a dilemma. He missed 2 big chances against Bournemouth and accumulated 0.9 expected goal involvement. I think it's becoming very difficult to suggest keeping Haaland instead of Salah because 15 million is a lot of money and the difference is Salah plus an extra 2.5 million. My advice would be that if you can get to Salah without taking a hit and it involves selling Haaland, then I'd go for it. I might suggest waiting 1 more week because Salah plays Villa and Haaland plays Brighton, but there's definitely justification to do so now. The next key point is the Nottingham Forest defence. They've been one of the best defences in the league so far this season. They picked up their 4th clean sheet last game week and they've only conceded 7 goals in 10 games, which is second best in the league, just behind Liverpool with 6 goals conceded. They rank second for expected goals conceded too, so not only is their actual defensive record really solid, but their expected data is showing that they're conceding fewer high quality chances than most teams in the league. Their upcoming fixtures aren't the best, which I'll get to, but a punt on Sells, Aina or Milenkovic is a great shout as they're all super budget options and their defensive data is amazing. Very quickly on yellow card accumulation, these are all the players on 4 yellows. If they pick up another yellow before their team have played 19 Premier League games, then they'll get a 1-match suspension. Some notable players who are highly owned in FPL are Munoz, Keane, Aitnuri, Semenyo and Jackson, so keep an eye out on them. Next up is defences to target using our in-house fixture difficulty ratings, ranking the best fixtures for defenders over the next 6 game weeks. We also have the club's defensive strength in the far right column, so we can compare their fixture difficulty to their defensive rating and get a more holistic view of the best options for this fixture run. Top of the rankings are Wolves, and as you can see, their defensive strength is poor according to this ranking system, but their opposition so far has been very strong. And on the other side of things, Aït-Nouri has been very, very attacking. I'd expect Wolves to pick up at least 2 clean sheets in the next 6 fixtures, and if they don't, this man will be attacking like he always does anyways. He ranks first for expected goals for defenders this season, an absolute bargain at his price if he can keep that up and if Wolves can pick up a few clean sheets while he's at it. Man United have a new manager coming in from game week 12, and their next 3 fixtures are very nice from a defensive point of view. If Amarin comes in and starts playing his usual 3-4-3 formation, this makes the likes of Mazraoui and Dalot very, very interesting, as they'll be given license to get forward. That, combined with the potential for a few clean sheets in this fixture run, makes these 2 guys really good options going forward. Liverpool have some decent upcoming fixtures, and they're the best defence in the league, which is the biggest reason to get a Liverpool defender, although they do come at a pretty price, especially this man Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's got the highest expected goal involvement for defenders in the league, and he plays for the best defence in the league. So it's a no-brainer when you say it like that. It's just if you can fit him into your team at this price. And with the way premium defenders have been going this year, it's hard to suggest going for more than one at a time, which is why I love Konate as a pick going forward. He's been great for Liverpool so far, and his price for a 90-minute Liverpool defender is great value in my opinion. Brighton have some nice upcoming fixtures in the next 6, especially from game week 13 onwards. Obviously, they have Man City in game week 11, so I wouldn't say this game week is the best entry point for a Brighton defender, especially with Dunk potentially out. But once he's back, then Brighton defenders are definitely back on the menu. It's just about picking the right one. So Veltman has the best attacking data of them all, but I fancy a punt on this man, Ferdi Kajoglu. He bagged a goal against Liverpool, really well taken finish, and if he can continue getting in advanced places like that, then he's definitely an option to keep an eye on going forward. Lastly, Arsenal defence has been extremely underwhelming so far this season. Red cards and injuries haven't done them any favours so far. They had 3 clean sheets in the first 4 games and then none in the past 6 game weeks. Right now they're tied 4th for goals conceded and 7th for expected goals conceded. So not bad at all, but not what we've come to expect from the Arsenal defence. That being said, we know how good they can be, and with some decent fixtures on the horizon, I think they're a hold if you have someone like a Gabriel or a Saliba. Now Chelsea away is definitely not a good entry point, but I can see Arsenal getting a clean sheet against anyone in the league when they're on their day. Next up is Attacks to Target, ranking the best fixtures for attackers over the next 6 game weeks. We also have the club's offensive strength in the far right column. Wolves top again. Their fixtures are just so good, and even though their offensive strength is low, like I said, their fixtures have been really tough, which has skewed their data a bit, and I do expect them to bang a few goals over this run. For me, Cunha is the best pick from them. He's the attacking outlet for Wolves, and they rely on his quality basically every game to make something happen. But if you don't have the funds for Cunha, then Strand Larsen is another great pick at his price. Next is Bournemouth, and they're absolutely flying. They've just come off a 2-1 win against Man City, and they rank 5th in the league for expected goals, which they've actually underperformed significantly, so should have scored more than they have based off the chances that they've been creating. And they have a lot of really good budget options. Semenyo is the one for me, followed by Tavernier, 2 great budget options. Next is Brighton. Again, they've got Man City next, which I've already mentioned. Not the best entry point this week, but after that, I'd look at the likes of Welbeck. He has been sensational this season, 6 goals and 2 assists already, and at just 5.9 million, he's an absolute bargain if he can keep up that form. Next is Spurs. However, I don't recommend Spurs players for this run. They have a really great fixture this game week 11, then 4 poor fixtures followed by a good fixture in game week 16, so those fixtures on the ends are giving them a good rating, but I don't like the look of those games in between. Chelsea, on the other hand, they have some really nice fixtures coming up. It's kind of hot and cold for them. A good fixture, then a bad fixture, then a good one, and so on. But the nice fixtures are good enough to make me want to get Chelsea attackers in. And the fact that they've also been one of the best attacks in the league this season. They rank 3rd for goals and 3rd for expected goals, just behind City and Spurs. From Chelsea, I'd say Cole Palmer is the obvious choice. He's got the most goals and assists in the league this season, 12 in total. He ranks 2nd in the league for expected goal involvement, just behind Haaland. I think he's close to becoming essential for this fixture run, just based off the fact that he's a captaincy shout in 3 of the next 6 fixtures. And a player like him is so consistent no matter the opponent, he's essentially fixture proof. I also like the look of Nicholas Jackson. His underlying data is really impressive. He ranks 3rd for expected goal involvement per 90 behind Haaland and Palmer, and ahead of the likes of Mo Salah and Saka. With that data, you'd expect him to cost a lot more than 7.9 million. So he's a bargain in my opinion. And with these nice fixtures coming up, a Chelsea double up in attack is more than viable. And even a triple up if you want to add a defender in too. Next up is the stats review. I'm going to do a run through of all the best performing players in every position statistically. Players in red are the most expensive and in green are the cheapest. For goalkeepers, we're looking at expected goals conceded against the bonus points system. The first thing that pops up to me here is Sells. He's a cheap keeper in amongst more expensive assets, and he's putting up better numbers than almost every goalkeeper in the league. Alisson is clearly playing for the best defence, but at the moment he's out injured. For defenders, we're looking at expected goals conceded against non-penalty expected goal involvement. We're looking for players in the top right as they not only play for teams conceding the least chances, but they themselves are creating a lot of chances. Trent is the standout here, the most expensive defender in the game for a reason. Milenkovic is really interesting here based off this plot. Good defensive data and good attacking data too, and very cheap. Same can be said for Digne and Lewis Hall as well. Porro also showing up really well here, as well as Aït-Nouri, however, mostly from an attacking perspective, not so much defensively. Let's move on to the midfielders. We're looking at the bonus point system against non-penalty expected goal involvement. Cole Palmer with the highest bonus points and expected data, followed by Mo Salah, then Saka, and Mbeumo really punching above his price bracket here. Looking at this, you can really see how good he has been and how much of a bargain he's been this season. Semenyo is also putting up really good expected data, however not getting as much on the bonus point system, and same can be said for Brennan Johnson and Morgan Rogers. On to the forwards, Haaland is so far ahead on the bonus point system and with his expected data, so let's remove him from the plot to get a better look at the rest of the forwards. Nicholas Jackson is still the pick of the bunch, and after him, it's a bit of a mixed bag. The likes of Welbeck, Cunha and Wood are putting up really good data for their price, picking up a lot on the bonus point system. Looking at the more expensive forwards like Solanke, Havertz, Watkins and Isak, they really aren't doing much to separate themselves from the more budget options, which to me means that going for a budget forward offers a lot of value and lets you free up funds elsewhere in your team. On to my Game Week 11 wildcard draft. If I was wildcarding this week, this is what I'd go for. I really love the look of this team. Starting in nets, we've got Sanchez at Chelsea. It was between him and Sells at Forest, and I know the Forest defence has been immense, but Chelsea's has been good too, and Forest's upcoming fixtures look really tough, and Chelsea's look quite nice. I then got Fabianski on the bench, a 4 million goalkeeper who has been playing, so in case Sanchez doesn't play for whatever reason, hopefully Fabianski can come on for him. In the defence, we've gone Aït-Nouri, Milenkovic, Gabriel, Robinson and Harwood Bellis. I think Aït-Nouri is a lock-in to most wildcard drafts. He's such a good pick with his goal threat and Wolves' upcoming fixtures. Milenkovic is my Nottingham Forest player. I wanted to get one in and he's got really good goal threat, so he's in there. Gabriel is my one premium defender with Arsenal's upcoming fixtures and the fact that they've been so good defensively at the start of this season and for the whole of last season. He's a season keeper for me personally. And then Robinson has been great for Fulham and they've been really solid defensively with some nice upcoming fixtures. And then Harwood Bellis, my 4 million man on the bench. Into the midfield, I've gone absolutely massive. Salah, Palmer, Saka, Mbeumo and Semenyo. Salah has proven why FPL managers need him in their team. Palmer is doing the same and Chelsea's upcoming fixtures are fantastic. Mbeumo is a lock-in just based off the value that he provides at his price. Saka is arguably another season keeper. He's so consistent, and with Odegaard coming back, I fancy him finding a nice run of form. And then Semenyo, another budget option that's putting up really good numbers for his price. Into the forward line, there's one glaring omission here. No Haaland in this draft. I tried to fit him in, but I just couldn't with the funds, and I really like the balance of the rest of the team without him in. So we've gone for a forward line of Welbeck, Jackson and Cunha. All three forwards have amazing upcoming fixtures and they've been putting up really good data themselves. I could have gone for Chris Wood, Wissa or Raul, but I really like this front three for the upcoming games. On to captaincy for Game Week 11. My number one captain this week is Son. I just think Ipswich at home is too good a fixture to ignore, and Son is on penalties too for Spurs. We know what he can do. He's my number one captaincy shout for this week. Followed by the king of FPL, Mo Salah against Aston Villa at Anfield. What's not to love? I know Aston Villa have been really good defensively, but with the way Liverpool and Mo Salah have been attacking, I can see him returning in this game. In third, I have Haaland. He's playing Brighton away. I think this is his last chance for a lot of managers. If he doesn't return in this game, then he's likely out most of your teams, which as he should be. But I do think he'll score here, and I think he'll make us all second guess that decision. In fourth, I have Brennan Johnson against Ipswich at home. I think he's actually been Spurs' best attacker this season. Been playing so well for them, and this fixture just screams goals for Spurs. And finally, in fifth, I've got Mbeumo against Bournemouth at home. He's got goals in him, and so do Brentford. I can see him bagging a few this game week. On to my game week 10 review. 42 points all out and a game week rank of 4.1 million. It's my third red arrow in a row, down to 738k overall. Not good at all, lads. Saturday's fixtures were absolutely awful for me. I transferred in Trent and Liverpool conceded in the first 15 minutes, so no returns for my defence except for my bench, which got 22 points total, more than half my starting 11. You absolutely hate to see it. I only have Johnson, Rodgers and Wood to thanks for any points this week. Let's look at how I'm going to fix this mess. I can't talk about my plans for Game Week 11 without mentioning the fact that I am very likely to wildcard in Game Week 12. I think it's a good time for me to wildcard based off how my team's set up, but also the fact that it's after an international break where players can pick up injuries, and also a lot of teams' fixtures swing from good to bad and some teams from bad to good. So based off that, I look at my team and I think, who is someone I can get in now for a 1 week punt before I wildcard? I only have one free transfer, so I might as well go for it. And the player in my team with the worst fixture is Watkins against Liverpool away. He's only scored once at Anfield in the past 4 games there. I think he's going to be the one to make way, and who's replacing him is likely to be Matheus Cunha against Southampton at home. I really like him for this fixture. I do think he'll outscore Watkins here, and Cunha will also likely be in my wildcard next week anyways, so why not get him in a week early for this lovely fixture against Southampton at home. I haven't made the move yet, and it's always subject to change based off any extra info we get before the deadline, so follow me on Twitter at FPL Gallagher to see what I do end up doing. That's all for today, folks. Go ahead and drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, guys, have a good one.